Booktube. This is Louise and this is the Big Head Bookworm channel. Lovely to see you. Hope you're well. Hope you're having a good day, whatever it is you're doing. Hello! Gosh, it's good to be back. I hope you're well. I hope you're having a good 2018. Well, I didn't anticipate being off this long. So I haven't done a video for about 6 weeks, which is a good month longer than I had anticipated. So I did Vlogember, and thank you so much for everybody that watched any of the videos in Vlogember and commented, and it was brilliant. Thank you very, very much. And I anticipated having a 2-week break and then coming back and doing a couple of videos before the Christmas celebrations were upon us. However, we all became ill. So I had the 2 weeks off, and then one by one we all succumbed to various illnesses, and we actually then went away. We went away for Christmas and New Year because I could not do Christmas last year. I lost my mum this time last year. We're very close to the anniversary, and I couldn't do Christmas, so we went away. We flew off. We went to the Caribbean and we had an amazing time. Thank you very much. But I am very glad to be back. I am super glad to be back. I'm feeling like 2018 will only be better than 2017. and I'm ready for it. I'm ready for what this year has got planned for us, or for the surprises that this year will bring. Who knows what this year is going to be bringing to us, but I do know it will bring lots of bookish content, and knitting content and crochet content. So this is a Booktube video. I'm planning on recording a yarn chat in the next week. But this is going to be all about books, and I've got about 3 or 4 bookish videos just for you. But this is the first one. So let's go on. And what I'm going to do is just going to do a brief roundup of some of the books that I have been reading in the last 6 weeks. Because there was one book I said, should I read? And there was a resounding yes. And I did read it, and I started it on the 1st of December. And I didn't take, I don't know how many days it took me to read it. A few, but not too many. And I have finished, and I but did read Outlander by Diana Gabaldon. Oh yes. So this was originally published under the title Cross Stitch, and I didn't realise, but the husband was trying to get me a copy of it under the title Cross Stitch. So he was like, oh, I know what that actually should be called. So I was very impressed by that. But yes, I bought it, as you know, if you watch Vlogember, and I read it, and I read it from the 1st of December. So what did I think of Outlander? I can completely understand why anybody gets obsessed with the series. It is historical fiction, or historical romance. It's historical fiction with a heavy romance and quite a bit of sauce. It was more saucy than I expected. Not that that's ever a bad thing. But I was quite surprised. A bit pleasantly surprised. I can completely understand why anybody would find themselves much desirous of Jamie Fraser and be thinking nice thoughts about him. I can completely understand that. I think I went into it with too much expectation. It would have been stunning for it to actually have been as amazing as people said it was, but I did constantly wanted to know what was going to happen. And the idea that it had the kind of broad sweep of it, I thought was brilliant. I mean, it's a big book and it wasn't intimidating at all. You just find yourself going through it. The scenes that people were talking about that people found difficult, I thought you could skim read those if necessary. However, I've read worse. Now that may be because I have a very wide reading taste, and have read horror and have read stuff where there's the violence. I have read similar scenes, and I have also read similar scenes with the kind of the different sexes involved in it. So I guess I saw it coming. I knew it was coming, and I can understand that some people wouldn't want to read it. So well, what I can say is that I got the hype. I understood it. I'm not quite there. And I had 1 or 2 people say to me, actually, they didn't get it until the 2nd or the 3rd book. And so I will be continuing with the series, most definitely. And if this is one of your favourite books, I understand. Believe you me, I get it. I get it. I also get it, people don't like it. I do get it, but I can completely understand. Oh yeah, if this is, oh yeah, believe you me. Oh yeah. There were feelings, definitely. So that was it. So that was the first book of December, Outlander. And if I could have a thumbnail of this, that would be grand. It won't do that. It'll get me doing this or something like that. So yes, I should just put that up here. I'm in a funny setup at the moment because I'm recording in the afternoon. I've had to get the lights all sorted and this kind of stuff. And my son Benedict's downstairs and he's on the computer. And so yes, the reason I'm in here is because of that. But actually it's quite a nice little setup. Shame I haven't got more books here, but I have got a little bookshelf. So yes, I have read in the last. So actually, I think were these all in December? They might have been. I can't remember. Anyway, so I read Hercule Poirot's Christmas, Sad Cypress, and Halloween Party. These are all Hercule Poirot mysteries by Agatha Christie, and I'd forgotten. I don't think I have read that for years and years and years. I know the story. Oh, it's a lively one. Back. I don't think I've actually read it for years. So that was a really good treat, because even when you watch adaptations, they do miss out so much of it. So that was a real treat. This is one of my favourites, and I have read and listened to it so many times. And this one, again, I thought was better than I remembered. So that was it. So those are my 3 Agathas. Always like to have a little Agatha. Bit of romance. I read Moonglow by Kirsten Callahan. This is the 2nd book in the Darkest London series. It's a 4-book series. This is the 2nd one. I enjoyed it. It's paranormal romance set in Victorian London. And it's a loose series, but yeah, and I actually really like this. I think I liked Firelight, which is the first one, but I think I liked this one better. So that was a good, very quick paranormal romance. Bit saucy. If you like a bit of rude, then that's for you. If you like it clean, it's not for you. I started this series, Behind the Throne by K.B. Waggers. Who was it that said I should read this? And they said it, and I was in that kind of mood, and I ordered it in. That does happen sometimes. You'll say, have you read this? And I'll go, no. And if I'm in a particular mood, I will just order it in. And it's Once a Gunrunner, Now Heir to an Empire. It's science fiction. It says a science fiction adventure, and I would agree with that. It is good at gender turning around. I tell you what's also really good. Quite a lot of sci-fi and a lot of fantasy in particular is very much kind of medieval European based, isn't it? Whereas this really wasn't. And it has a fantastic mix of both alien and then kind of human descendants, but of the Indian subcontinent. And there's some really good mixes like that, some really good kind of turning around of gender politics, which I thought was really was very good, and the stereotypical roles. It has a feisty warrior heroine, who I got behind. And sometimes I can find them irritating when they're that warrior, but actually I really liked her. So I just galloped through this. So whoever this was that said how good it is, you're right. I really enjoyed it. And if you want a science fiction adventure, that you can really get behind, and it's got a good cast of characters, but not so many that you get kind of bogged down in all the aliens. I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed this. I galloped through it and just thought it was grand. So, Behind the Throne by KB Waggers. I think is it the first of 4? I think it's the first of 4. I am currently reading the second, just so you know. I finished the third in the Darkest London series, which is Winter Blaze by Kirsten Callahan. My least favourite. I read this on holiday, and it was my least favourite. I didn't like the relationship. I didn't like them, and the kind of falling out that they then had to kind of get back. The tension was built on an argument that was ridiculous and had been solved within the first 50 pages, and it just annoyed me from then on, which is not good. But I would still read it, but I wasn't. If I hadn't been on holiday, I would have struggled. I think it was the fact I was on holiday and was like lying on a sun lounger with a cocktail. It was that kind of book. So I shall keep it, because I'll look at it and think, oh, I was lying on a sun lounger with a cocktail. Bit of a pina colada. Oh, very nice. I managed to read Borderline by Michelle Baker, which I was really glad, because that's part of my Pop Sugar 2017 challenge, was to read a book with a disabled main character. And this is a Faye-inspired set in Hollywood and the Arcadia Project, and she has lost her legs below the knee in a failed suicide attempt. So she is a disabled main character, and I loved the way that there was no, I don't know how to put it, because it was there was lots of, obviously a hell of an impact into your life, and but at the same time, there was kind of, yes, there is sympathy about it, but it was incredibly matter of fact, and her disability didn't define her. Not that it would be a problem if it did, but I think a lot of people talk about, like, when you read about disability, that the disability is almost like a characteristic and they're disabled. Whereas this was just this was, it had nothing to do with who she was, the fact that she didn't have she had all she was, borderline personality disorders, was a far bigger impact than how she was dealing with the loss of her legs. And I kind of really admired that. I had some issues with the borderline personality disorder. I had far more issues with than the actual, the physical disability. I thought she handled the physical disability brilliantly. I thought she handled the mental way, that she rammed that down your throat, and some of it was interesting, but some of it wasn't. And the Fae stuff, some of it was good, some of it wasn't good. So this was a real middling book for me. I think it did some things really well, did some things badly, but I still really enjoyed it. I still galloped through it. Again, it was good that I was reading it on holiday, because I was able to, lie on a sun lounger and drink a cocktail while reading it. Just thought I'd put that in. My first book of this year, If We Were Villains by M.L. Rio. I've got a bit of sand on it. So yes. It says here, a whip-smart, chilling tale, a page-turning literary thriller. It is. Very much a close group of friends, all actors in an acting college, in an arts college, completely immersed into Shakespeare, and it's so much about the Shakespearean archetypes and the roles, and how the roles in friendship groups get very defined and you can't break out of them, and what that means, and there's an event that happens, and I don't want to give too much away, because I think the blinder you go into this, the more you will enjoy it. I thought it was brilliant and I really enjoyed it. I don't think it's flawless. I think there are flaws there, but it was compelling. I loved the Shakespeare stuff. I went to an arts college, and the hothouse feeling of the arts college, it encapsulated that brilliant. And having all of these kind of 18, 19, 20, 21, 22-year-olds all living kind of on top of each other and working with theatre and kind of dealing with emotions, it captured that brilliant, and how like little things can become huge, and the kind of living life large, you know, kind of your emotions are so kind of, well, at that age they are anyway, but I mean, I just really loved that. I really loved that. The actual mystery itself, I did work it out, but I still thought it was well done. And so, yes, I thought it was well written. It's not flawless, but I thought it was well written, really enjoyable. I'm so pleased that was my first book of 2018, because I think I chose a good one there. So that was that. So that's ML Rio, and look, I mean, it's a gorgeous book and it's soft and buttery. And then I read a couple on my Kindle, naturally. Oh, I've been chatting away, chatting away to you. Ragdoll by Daniel Cole, which is a thriller. And I think, yeah, fine, quite good as a thriller. There is apparently, it carries on with the same people in the next one, which comes out later this year. And if I saw it at a knockdown price, I probably would, or more likely I would get it if it became as a Kindle deal, definitely. So that's Ragdoll by Daniel Cole. If you want a thriller that you don't have to concentrate on and you just kind of put it in your eyes, then I thought that was good. Julia Quinn's Lost Duke of Wyndham, which is a historical romance set in the Regency period. It was fine. I didn't particularly love it, but I didn't hate it. It was it a clean romance? No, it's not a clean romance. No, wasn't clean. But wasn't too steamy or vulgar. Well, more the pity, really. And then on the flight home, and actually this was my journey home, I started in the airport and I read it on the flight home, and I finished it about 2 hours away from Gatwick. And I was like, oh, that's a bit of a shame. Was In the Still of the Night by Anne Rule, which is a true crime book. The Anne Rule, which I hadn't read, and it was great. It was a really good one, and it was great for the journey because there was enough there, and I really got into it. So that was brilliant. So I didn't sleep on the way home. Neither did the husband. So hence jet lag is winning at the moment. So that's what I read on the Kindle. So I've read one or two others which I think are downstairs, but they're nothing that I would particularly hold up and say, yes, I've read this. So here's my little kind of taster of the books that I have read. My little obligatory. Oh, let's not drop that on the floor, Louise. How about that? There we go. Ta-da! Again, thumbnail. That'd be great. It won't do that. But there we go. That's what I got. Good collection there. So really good ones. Some really good ones, some really good ones, some okay ones, which is about standard, I would say. It'd be stunning if you had a month and it was all really good. It's never going to happen, is it? You'd get weary of it. You'd get a book hangover, wouldn't you? So there we go, Booktube. It's been a bit of a long video, this. Just because I had more to tell you than I have done for ages. And yes, there we go. This has been lovely. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I hope you're feeling okay and you're good in 2018. If you're wondering what to say, it would be wonderful to hear what was your first book of the year. And do you just choose your next book? Or is there, like me, kind of pressure for the first book of the year? It's stupid, and I don't like the fact I do it, but I have this thing that I have to look for the first book of the year. and I have to choose something particular. So yes, so do you do that as well? That would be lovely. I would be most interested in that because, as you know, I am deeply nosy. And this has been lovely, Booktube, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. Let's do this again.